The best part of the nighttime racing season at Los Alamitos is here, as the best quarter horses in the nation set to compete in our biggest race, like the Los Alamitos Super Derby, the Champion of Champions, and the Los Alamitos 2 Million Futurity. Plus, the best bets in night racing continue, like our early and late pick fours, always with the best pools at night. And of course, our pick six promos on Sunday nights. The best part of the year is here at Los Alamitos.
And welcome everyone to the Los Alamitos preview show. And we had quite a weekend last weekend with some of our biggest races on tap, especially on Sunday night, the running of the Golden State Million Futurity. Happy to be joined by the panel here, George Duarte and Chris Wade. Michael Rona unable to join us today, but let's just talk a little bit about the Golden State Million. Familiar breeding lines, some that we've seen in some of our biggest races over the years. Favorite Cartel out of Remember Me Rose, the Colt Enforcer gets the big victory in such impressive fashion. George, you picked the horse on the show here as the winner of the race. Remind us why, and tell us what he did in that race.
I remember because I singled Just I'm Worth It in the trials, and he broke a little slow, but he then accelerated really well. So I was like, oh, the race is over. You know, he's winning. And then I see Enforce come from the outside and challenge him and give him everything he had. You know, he had to earn that win. So I was like, wow, I was very impressed. And I watched especially at the start of that trial, he got bumped around. And so then that's what made me sold on him for the final. I was like, he's going to get it. I like the draw when we talked about it on the breakdown of the race. And he just caught a flyer. Ayala just got him out. He was up 3/4, you know, after the first jump. And right then I knew it was over. I was just ready to celebrate. And then I see Just I'm Worth It coming to round out the exacta. And then, you know, it all worked out. Unfortunately for me, I did what Chris always warned you not to do and save $12 to throw out AJ Cyclone for third. And that 10-cent super came back $700. You know, so that's kind of rough to miss that after knowing the exacta. But I was really impressed with them. Ayala did a great job. You know, Odell knows how to train these horses, especially this breeding. I mean, he's lived off of them for the past, 5 to 10 years. And it's just sad to see Beautiful break to the gate prior, because she looked like she was ready to run in the post parade. She was jumping up and down, looking full of energy, and that's what hurt her. She had a little too much energy and was ready to bounce out of that gate, and she just did it at the wrong time.
Chris, you had both pick fours in one of the nights this past weekend. Jarvis, we were all on Jarvis, maybe too much weight being carried by the horse in the running of the Asai Stakes. But like you mentioned, Chris, you always try to go one extra deep because it can be a good fortune for you. Your thoughts on the running of the Golden State Million?
Well, it was a great race. Sad to see a Beautiful who was ramped up and ready to go. She's unbeaten going into the race. Never really asked to run her any of her races, and maybe she was probably too amped up. She broke the gate, and what happens 9 times out of 10, it just takes the life right out of them. That was the case. And Enforcer. Second time over the racing surface after finishing very strongly. Just I'm Worth It, as with that breeding, and Chris Odell, like his note, have been living off that breeding for quite some time. Great call by Michael. Purchased for like $600,000, worth more than that now as a Colt, winning the 2 Golden State Million Futurity. Broke well, finished well, and Just I'm Worth It was coming. But that horse ran very, very well, and they always improved second time over the racing surface on the ship, and that was the case with Enforce. And 6-1 was a nice price with all factored in. Exacta come back very, very nice, and so did the trifecta. But that's the way it goes. But Beautiful, tough journey prior to the start. But Enforce are very impressive. And Just I'm Worth It gave them all he could, but came up just a little bit short there at the wire.
Let's take a listen to what Chris Odell had to say after the race. Like both of you mentioned, he's had so much success with this breeding line going back to Powerful Favorite. I believe that was the first one of the string of tremendous horses for Chris Odell. Followed, of course, by Run for Your Life, who he won the Golden State Million, Bomb Cyclone, Cyber Attack, and now Enforcer, a Grade 1 winner here at Los Al. Here's Chris Odell.
Well, we thought he would run down the track. He got bumped around in the trials, and he came running. And that family so far, most all of them will run down the track at least 400 yards. And they've got pretty good heads on their shoulders. They don't make many mistakes. They just need to be able to get away, and that's all I prayed for, was just to get away without getting bumped. When I saw he didn't get bumped or anything, I thought, well, he's going to get a piece of it. And I stood up in the grandstand way up high where I could watch, and after he got about half, three-fourths the way down through there, well, I might have hindered him a little bit because I was kind of riding him a little bit myself. I got to screaming and hollering, jumping up and down, because I thought, man, these are the things that we dream of, but at the end of the day, they don't happen very often. So it means a lot.
2019 with Run for Your Life, a full brother to this horse. Bomb Cyclone just got better and better and better and got the big one done. Cyber Attack, the same thing. You have all that experience in your pocket with this family. How does that help you?
Well, I guess I have had some success with the family, but the big thing I try to do, I guess, is just kind of be patient and stay out of their way, wait towards the end of the year with these guys, as much as you can. Even though we start them at Ruidoso, and we start some of them, like Powerful Favorite was a war horse, he ran on to his 6-year-old year, but most of the time we got to be patient with them, and that's with all horses, these will need it.
Look at these guys right here.
They're happy. These guys are pumped up, and that's what it's all about. The horse did the job, but these guys had to jump in there and buy it.
Yeah. And to be part of something that delivers this kind of emotion, it's got to feel good, right?
You think they're going to be excited for the 2 million trials?
I think so. I have a feeling that they will be excited for the trials, and of course that's something that we all want to see, right? This kind of excitement.
Yeah. We need new owners. And some of these people are new and fresh, and that's what we want. That's what we need.
And that was Chris Odell with some of his thoughts, giving a big tip of the hat to the West Texas Racing Partners, because, like he says on the interview, they put the money up. The horse did the job, but they were the ones that had to make the investment on the horse. And like we saw in that video, very happy times for that ownership group. They were just thrilled. They didn't want to leave the winner's circle at all, celebrating that victory. I wouldn't either after winning the Golden State Million, and now looking ahead at the trials to the Los Alamitos 2 Million Futurity, a race that Chris Odell has had some nice success as well with this very family. Bomb Cyclone and Cyber Attack both won the Los Alamitos 2 Million Futurity. That was only one of the 2 stakes races we had on Sunday night. The other race, like I mentioned, we were all in on Jarvis, but it turned out to be El Dictator who picked up the win. Had a chance to talk to Travis and Wendy Saxton after the race, after they celebrated the nice win by El Dictator. Here's what the couple had to say following the race.
Right. It took us many years to win down here, so this is very sweet.
You were telling me that the coat that you're wearing is special, a lot of history inside of it. Please, can we share it and let everyone see a little bit of it?
So inside here is just the horses we bought through the years that we've been running. So everything that...
Some here at Los Alamitos.
Yeah, just a lot of history.
And I'm sure there's a photo of El Dictator somewhere in there, right?
Yes, he's in there.
Who was the tailor of this coat? Who designed it?
Mike Dawkins. He's in Montana, where I have a furniture store, so did a custom job for me. It was very nice.
Tell me a little bit about this horse, just seeing him develop, seeing him grow, the way that he's performed. He's from such tremendous breeding, J Fire Up family.
He is. We bought him in Oklahoma and kind of brought him along slowly, and he's finally figuring it out, and we're excited.
Congratulations on the victory. Definitely a great performance. He's next will be the 2 million trial, so maybe we can add a few more photos to that coat.
I hope so.
That'd be great.
And the one thing that coat reminded me of, the inner lining of the jacket, is when you watch the NBA draft or you watch the NFL draft, and those prospects that get called up, first round draft picks, you never know what's inside the lining. They always kind of custom make it. It's really cool to see what kind of designs they come up with. Well, they got nothing on Travis Saxton because that was a pretty cool coat. And like you said, it's basically every horse that they have raced over the years. I saw the names of Full Boat and Midnight Moon and many others, names that I can remember racing here at Los Alamitos. So good for them. That's their first big stakes win here at Los Alamitos, and they certainly were enjoying it in the winner's circle. Well, let's enjoy some of the action that's coming up this weekend at Los Al. Let's bring up the past performances for Saturday. First post on Saturday will be 6:10 p.m. And just a reminder as well that we will be simulcasting the Breeders' Cup here from Del Mar. Grandstand will open at 8:30 a.m. Burghards and Vessels at 9 a.m. And if you're thinking of coming out for the festivities on Saturday, call Ruben Arcila in the Vessels Club, 714-820-2681. Here's race number 1. And George, right away, you're up to bat because you have a selection in this race.
Yeah, I went with the one, race 1, number 1. She's just fluffy. I was really impressed on her race last time. First off the claim for Jimmy Glenn. She's already beaten 4 of these that are in this field. It's similar ones, and then there's like a couple other ones, including the favorite on the far outside. But I just think she's going to get a similar trip as she did last time. I think it's going to be a repeat effort. Same level. Jimmy Glenn just is going to put her right back at the same level. I really liked how she raced. If you look at her running lines, normally she's been up front in her victories, and this time she sat right off the pace. I know she got a good trip. She got the rail opened up when we see the replay, but I just think it's going to be something very similar she's going to get this time around, and she's not going to be the favorite.
We'll take it from the very beginning, George. You can go ahead and tell us what you liked from this effort from She's Just Fluffy.
Well, one thing I've liked is since Cesar Ortega's come back, I really like his the way he rides the races. He's always aggressive. He always tries to put the horses into the races, and that's what you need at this distance. And he just drops to the rail, or he's on the rail. Yeah, he drops to the rail he's a 3 horse.
He's the number 3 horse.
Yeah, he lets the 6-5 shot go to the lead, drops to the inside. Once this inside horse drops back. And then he's the pace was fine, 23:02. That's normal for that level. Like I said, he did get a really good trip because he's lucky that the favorite did not drop over on her. But I just think she's going to get a very similar trip. I don't think she's going to be that close to the lead. I think she's going to be a little bit off her. And then I just like how she responded to the urging and edged away. She looked like she's improving. These Dosificado breeding that's been running here, they all seem to be developing later in their years because I know they've been bringing them when they're like 3, 4, and it looks like they're green, and it takes them a while to get to their best, and I think she's just reaching her potential, and I just think she's going to take another step forward, and if she takes another step forward, I think she's going to be hard to beat, and she's versatile. She doesn't need the lead. She's going to be able to save ground against this field. And the favorite, Feisty Matoli, when we go to the PPs again, I'll tell you why I kind of am against her a little bit at the low odds that she's going to be. So we look at the favorite. She's been really aggressively ridden and is most likely going to be aggressively ridden again this time. And if you look at her PP, she's a 5-time winner. And Chuck Treece said he entered her expertly last 2 back when he entered her into her non-2 lifetime. And you're like, how's a 4-time winner at that time qualify for non-2? Because none of the races under 5,000 counted. So that was a softer spot than this spot. And then she went over there to Santa Anita in an open 10 and dueled with Promise Me Cat, who was in this race. And she was a good effort. I just think that she might be starting to tail off on her form, and I think she's coming back a little too quick for my liking. I think she's going to have to work hard again because the horse directly to the inside of her, Queen of the Track, is also a need-to-lead runner. And so you're going to have at least 3 trying to contest the lead. She might get hung wide, and then She Just Fluffy's going to pounce with that ground-saving trip, and I think it's going to edge her out late.
good field here in the opener at Los Alamitos. Like you mentioned, George Cesar Ortega doing fine work, especially with those James Glenn Jr. Trainees. He's won here. This connection has won here during the daytime meet, and James Glenn Jr. has done good work with these horses going around the turn. So George Duarte's selection here for Saturday night. He goes in race 1 right off the bat with the number 1. She's Just Fluffy. And on Breeders' Cup Saturday night, we tend to have a really nice action in the pools. So expect to see a very solid pool here on Saturday night in the early pick 4, in the late pick 4, and of course in the pick 6. By the way, since I mentioned the pick 6, the pool last Sunday in the pick 6, new money over $70,000. The total pool, once we add that 10,000, was around $84,000. So real good pools in the pick 6 here at Los Alamitos. Let's go ahead and move forward. We have a couple of quarter horse races on the Saturday card. Here's race number 7. Chris, you're up to bat here in this race. Who do you like in this one?
Well, I'm going to give a look in race 7 to Midnight Cowboy 1, 2, 3. The horse ran in the Dash for Cash Futurity Trials at Lone Star Park. And this horse lost all chance away from the gate. And the horse who won that trial came back to run in the final. So it was a very productive race. This one does come out of, but the horse earned a pretty good figure with everything factored in. And the horse's prior effort was very, very good. And these connections do very well with runners on the ship in. And coming out of strong trial races and against this event, this maiden affair has a big look at the outcome there as our top choice and prize play. Our preview show selection there, race number 7, second leg of the late pick 4.
And this horse previously trained by Michael Joyner, father, of course, of Cody Joyner, who trained here at Los Alamitos for so many years, FTD Dynasty, so many others. His brother, Justin Joyner, we talked about one of his most famous trainees that he had at Los Alamitos. We mentioned that filly last weekend because he had 2018 Golden State Million winner Flash and Roll. She went on to win the 2 million. And then I recall she went on to even win the Los Alamitos Super Derby the following year. So Justin Joyner had a tremendous day here at Los Al in 2018, 2019, thanks in large part by Flash and Roll. Now he comes out. He's got this one, Midnight Cowboy 1, 2, 3. I noticed that he's got a couple of other horses throughout the weekend. He's got one in on Sunday as well. So Midnight Cowboy 1, 2, 3. Chris Wade's selection, the slice of the pie at 2-1 on the Saturday night program race number 7. This is actually a pretty good field. We got horses that competed at and done well in futurity races. Cheap Bar, the number 7 horse at 3-1 for Juan Alaman, ran second in a trial to the Edberg Million Futurity and third in a trial to the Golden State Million Futurity against Who's the V, who went on to qualify. Famous Talk on the outside, Xavier Rodriguez and owner Johnny Trotter. This runner ran third in a trial to the All-American Futurity, second in a trial to the Rainbow Futurity, and even competed in a trial to the Ruidoso Futurity. The mother of Famous Talk is Little Talks, who, of course, won the Golden State Million here at Los Al. I believe that might still be trainer Mike Castleman's richest win ever. Definitely one of the 2 richest wins ever. He may have won the Golden State another time as well. Up a Lazy River, George, you kind of like that horse a little bit at 10-1, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, last time I think he was caught into like a tight spot and just didn't look comfortable and backed out of it. So I'm gonna give him another chance. I like Panado. He's always a good gate rider. But even Dariush, the first time starter, I thought worked well. Was prepped and entered into a trial for I think it was the Heritage Place. Don't quote me on it, but I think it was the Heritage Place trials and scratched out of there. So that horse has been ready for a while. Youngers brings him in and has had success with Jose Nicasio. So that's another one that it's a good race. It's I think you'll see a lot of these come back in the 2 million trials and could be factors.
Another thing to point out about Midnight Cowboy that I forgot to do that is that he was eligible to the Golden State Million, perhaps not ready, or perhaps since he ran in trials to the Dash for Cash, I think. Dash for Cash, perhaps he wasn't ready right away for those trials, but he is being pointed to the 2 million trials. So Midnight Cowboy 1, 2, 3 with some big things at stakes here now at Los Al. Real quickly, take a look at race number 8 and some familiar names. Some of these 3 and 4 year olds. Cutesy has run a lot of good races here. Look at that. 8 second place finishes during her career. She's now a 4-year-old, so she's always right there. Naive, right in the Golden State Derby after running nice second in the trials to the Golden State Derby. And on the outside, Flying and Gold Digger for trainer Eddie Willis at 5-2. And the final race on Sunday, Honey Bunches at 8-1, coming off of a 3-horse set. Honey Bunches is, and she actually ended up winning that drill nicely and now makes her debut here after running at Ruidoso in Albuquerque. Won at Sunray Park as well. The 3 WR Desperado, that's another Justin Joyner trainee here, and he won a trial to the Rainbow Futurity. Here's a few others that we've seen already here at Los Al compete. Any horse that stands out to you, George, from this group?
It has to be WR Desperado with that breeding line. You know, Whistle Stop Cafe was one of the best in the last 5 years. And this is her baby looks good. I mean, he ran good. He lost to King of the Tide, who came back to win the All-American, and then Dragon Link, who came back to win last week here at Los Al. And so I think he's done nothing wrong. He comes in. I think this is just a prep for him for the 2 million, but I think he's going to come ready. I don't think they're going to use it as a prep. I think they're ready to go because he did work at Lone Star prior to this shipping over here. And another horse I like, I'm going to give 7 Summers Ago another chance. That's who I picked second at a price that I like the effort prior to the trial. I mean, that trial just eliminated, just got wiped out. And I like the maiden win. So that's another one. That's the one I played for second.
Okay. Chris, you're not going to leave out a horse here to save $12 and, miss out on the superfecta. If that's the case, who is it going to be that you will not leave out?
Well, I agree wholeheartedly with George's comments here. W. Desperado, and of course, 7 Summers, a horse who was one of our selections in that trial when losing all chance. You had to put him in the mix. Of course, I always got to give care of a baby, and there I look to have a slice of the pie on the exacta. I mean, underneath trifecta and superfecta. The horse is better than shown, a little bit trouble prone, but I have to look to grab a slice of the pie in the finale there in that ninth and final there on Saturday evening.
Caribbean 10-1 on the morning line draws the rail for this race. And Cesar Franco, who has popped up with some nice winners this season, will ride for trainer Mike Castleman. That's the 1 Caribbean. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll come back and just touch a little bit on the Sunday program before we wrap up this edition of the Los Alamitos Preview Show. We'll be right back. As we see so many of those scenes there, I'd like to remind you all, once again, Breeders' Cup Saturday, Los Alamitos Grandstand will open at 8:30 a.m., Burgars and Vessels at 9 a.m. If you are looking to reserve a table in the Vessels Club, call Ruben Arcila, 714-820-2681. We just drew for Sunday's program 10 races on tap for Sunday, so I'm just going to kind of look at really quickly at these races. We haven't really had a time to really get too in-depth to looking at them, but just show you some of the names. and the attraction, a recent winner here at Los Al. Me Shining had a lot of nice efforts here throughout the year. Blow Your Whistle, who qualified to our stakes race. Shining Favorite began the me with some nice races. That's race number 6. Race 7, Xavier Rodriguez saddling backside ace. The mother, Flying Fig, AQHA champion. She ran in, I believe, all the big futurities here at Los Al, and she may have run second in all the big futurities as well that year. She made over $800,000 without ever winning a futurity here at Los Al, but she was rewarded with an AQHA title. Cowboys and Roses was entered to run on Saturday and was scratched at scratch time on Thursday morning. Well, here we see her again here on Sunday. I love the ownership name. Pistol Whipping Posse is the owner of Cowboys and Roses. See? A few more of the horses here. Good Mischief for Gentry Farms. Has run well in trial races. Moving on to race number 8. Quite a few familiar names again. Ming Dynasty, Centella Olympia. Good to see Centella Olympia back. I think this was a horse that you liked early in the year, right, George?
Yeah, that's one I played the first 2 times. I played in the trial against Beyond Repair, and yeah, when I saw in the entries, I was like, oh, I wonder where she's been, but unfortunately, no gate work, so I can't see how she's progressed. But I'm looking forward to seeing her run. But just looking at the PPs at a glance, Ming Dynasty is one that you gotta look back. Ran really good last time. Looks like it's finally developing. Was a really slow breaker and broke really good last time. She just ran into really good horses, and Check and Eagle, who came back last week to run second in the allowance race, and Energy 6, who came back to break her maiden.
Any other horses that stand out here just by looking at this, Chris?
No, pretty much what George said. I mean, Dynasty horse, like giving this horse a couple of chances, steadily improving in each subsequent start. The ability is there. Just a clean getaway puts this horse in the mix, but came out of a very, very strong race. Could be one of my top choices in there. Other than that, it's kind of wide open on the underneath exotics. But first time starter worked pretty well. But as noted by George, the horse on the ship back in the Olympia horse. I'd like to see a gate drill that get some kind of idea how the horse is progressing and is if ready to rumble. But on the numbers, the horse is a big look at the outcome.
Just one name that stands out as well, Luis Martinez. It's going to ride number 3, AJQ Darling, for trainer Xavier Rodriguez. And, Luis Martinez, I think he may have been a leading rider at some racetrack. I may have seen some type of a post recently on Luis Martinez. Moving on there to race number 9, more familiar names. Pepe Barbaro, pretty solid runner, has won 5 times at Los Al. Bossy Girl, Firestorm. I got burned by Firestorm last time out. I thought she was going to run well and at a good, decent price. She ended up going off even maybe a little shorter than the morning line, if I remember right.
Yes, Chris would say that's a trouble-prone deluxe over there. That Firestorm. He's finding trouble at every race.
Yeah,
running these claimers.
And there's the 10th and final, first-time gelding number 2, Politically Potent, making his first start at Los Alamitos. AB Safe Coronas for Justin Joyner as well. Tiramisu, familiar face now at Los Al, has already run here in a trial. And Matchbook for another Xavier Rodriguez for Luis Martinez. And I'll be interested to see if Luis Martinez, now that Xavier Rodriguez is a name that we're seeing more and more entering horses, if he's just going to be a regular name here in the entries, Luis Martinez. Kind of like how Edwin Escobedo was at the end of last season, and then kind of carry that through to the beginning of this year with a lot of success. Well, that's a quick look at the program on Sunday. 10 races on tap. Don't have a first post time yet, but it should be around 6 p.m. or so. As always, we'll update that on our website, losalamitos.com. So that's the Saturday and Sunday programs here on the Los Alamitos preview show. Some big fireworks last weekend with some big stakes races. And now most of the big headlines will be made at Del Mar on Breeders' Cup Friday and Saturday. And of course, we'll bring all the action here at Los Alamitos during our simulcast programs before we get right into the action of our nighttime racing cards. Last words from George.
Save some of your bankroll from the Breeders' Cup for the night. And if you want a tip for Del Mar, how to play the Breeders' Cup, especially on the turf, who's going to be saving ground and who's going to be rallying along the inside. Last time they ran at Del Mar, you couldn't close from the outside. It's one of the reasons I don't like playing Del Mar turf races at the end of the year, because usually the inside is way better of paths. So it's hard to predict who's going to save ground. But if you have an idea who's going to be in the inside making those moves along the inside, that's who you should back in those turf races.
Chris, any last words?
I hardly agree. Speed inside the turf at Del Mar does very, very well, as noted by George, and did very well today, the way things opened up there as well. But big numbers. Save some of that money from Los Alamitos to Del Mar. But any kind of price at Del Mar pumps up return immensely with these monster pools. But of course, put some of that money in the Los Al pool, because our numbers, we got some quality racing this weekend right back. And we got some good-looking 2-year-olds on the ship in and some local Los Al horses. So any kind of price pumps return immensely here at Los Alamitos. And the pick fours come back pretty good considering last week when we had some short price winners, but coming back like 165 on the late pick four on Sunday was not too bad considering what ended up in the winner's circle.
The one on Saturday was really good, the late one. It paid $240, and it was
oh, yes.
I mean, it had your pick in there, it had my pick in there, so that's already 2 singles.
Yep.
And then there was another short price, I think, from the rails to start the pick four. From the inside, it was a Eddie Willis horse, and it just took another 6-1 in a wide open race to make it pay $240.
Paid gigantic.
Was that Sunday rain?
Yeah, Sunday rain from the rail.
Yeah. So my last word would be, keep some notes on these horses running this weekend, because you're going to see a lot of them back in the trials to the Los Alamitos 2 Million. A lot of them are making their first start here at Los Al. So they'll gain some experience. Keep an eye on them as before we get going with the trials to the 2 Million in a couple of weeks. Well, that will wrap up the show. I am going to close with a little slideshow, a little video of some of the highlights from the Halloween costume contest from the carnival night that we had a few weeks ago. We'll close out the show with that. And until then, stay safe on this Halloween Friday. Go Dodgers. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you all. Bye-bye.